Thank you very much. Thank you, Prabir. It's been fascinating listening to everybody for the last 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Really learned a lot. And I'll start by congratulating you for organizing it. I think it's very relevant what you're doing here. And it takes me back actually to my first visit to a country outside this region, Indonesia. This was in 1993, when I understood the real meaning of a common cultural space. When I read an article in Jakarta, serious article, suggesting that Ganesha was an Indonesian, a Javanese god whom the Indians adopted. The whole worldview of mine, which we had as an Indian, completely changed by reading that article. So when we talk about the common cultural space, we need to understand the amount of give and take which has happened throughout history. I think a very good point was made right in the beginning, that this is a time, this is a time to look back. It's been 20 years. It's also a time to take a critical view of the whole thing, as also of the plan of action. Very good suggestion. It's halfway through the plan of action. And critical is a good in the sense that look at what we have done, what we have not done, what the potentialities were. The first thing that strikes me is there has been uneven political commitment from the countries concerned. Let's be frank about it. We had the ministerials till 2007, gap till 2012, next meeting 2016, then 17 and 19. Now, what are important for the meetings? People say that, oh, what's the point of government meeting? No. Yes, you're right that the private sector has to actually move, which our friend from Myanmar was upset about for a second. But the fact is that the governments have to facilitate the private sector movement. And if nothing else, they must remove the obstacles to such movement. Because there are tremendous obstacles in terms of laws and processes that has to be looked at. I really like the point, Professor Ghoshal, you made about linking the past, seeing the relevance to the present, and its usefulness to the future. And it reminds me of this news item I read many years ago. The ISKCON had set up a center in Phnom Penh, and they were offering Sanskrit classes. And people said, please offer us English classes. We want to learn English. People are looking to the future. People are looking to the future. We must be conscious of that. So I'm not saying Sanskrit is bad. Of course, do Sanskrit. Do Pali. See the linkages, the linguistic links. Absolutely do all that. But also we have to build a future that benefits all of us. It has a common future for us. Connectivity is very important. Many people have raised the point. Roads are required. The trilateral highway is there. And of course, I mean, Myanmar had some difficulties with funding it. So India is funding the part, making the bridges and the culverts in the Myanmar portion also. But to my mind, roads and rail lines, etc., are like collecting cement and steel and bricks to make a house. It does not become a house by itself. So road will not guarantee movement, will not guarantee connectivity unless you deal with what are kind behind the border issues. Banking links, custom processes, standardization of, which probably Dave will tell you, standardizations so that you mutual recognition of standards, etc., etc. I think Professor Kin was also right that Myanmar gets overlooked. See, the quantum of trade between India and Myanmar is so low that ships that carry goods from India to Myanmar or vice versa have to go through Singapore because they're not viable by itself. Even our banking, if you go to transfer money to Myanmar or Myanmar to India, the transaction goes via the correspondent bank in Singapore. So, you know, these are the kind of hassles, these are the kind of logistical costs, can I say, that have to be addressed. We are really serious about improving our linkages. I'm glad that the Sitwe Kadaran project is finally moving slowly, but I think it should develop lots of local linkages. Link it with an SEZ nearby, link it with other industrial areas nearby. I mean, a project must deliver more than just, of course, linkages to Mizoram and Northeast is important, but it would also develop local linkages. It will make the project so much more viable. Does the Kaladan port require big cranes for moving containers? As an example, these are the kind of questions we should be asking about, not just general topics, you know. We need serious discussions on trade, really serious discussions on trade. There are wide gaps. These gaps have widened, have not reduced. I'm not saying India is correct, others are wrong. I'm not saying Vietnam is correct and India is wrong either. All I'm saying is we need far greater understanding far greater amount of discussions with each other, understanding of each other, and trying to bridge the gaps. And I would think for that, we need, a number of people have raised the point, far more intensive academic exchanges are required. Talking to people across sectors, culture to culture people, the trade people, the electronics people, commerce. I mean, I'm saying broadly, the political people. We need more track two arrangements. Media, sometimes taking media is good. I mean, can you imagine? Singapore has had a very, very important general elections recently. For the first time, the government has lost not just one GRC, which they had lost last time, they lost a second GRC in the Sengkang seat. This is a very important development in Singapore. Not one Indian newspaper or TV channel even mentioned that Singapore has these elections. The point I'm making is there is considerable mutual ignorance. As an academic discipline, many of you have raised the point, rightly so. We need much greater amount of understanding, studies, language training, absolutely. Either short-term scholarships, send people across for 6 months, 1 year, that ICSR does, develop academic programs, call faculty over for a longer period of time. I mean, in the sense that we don't understand the great importance that universities can actually play in this, the great importance that think tanks can do in this, because the ability to subtly mold public opinion, subtly mold government policies, and review government policies. I think we really need to reduce this kind of amount of ignorance that we have of each other and develop better understanding. Yes, I wanted to correct Professor Ghoshal, you're right, and Professor Khin, you're right on democracy. Fortunately, I've seen that we have been interacting a lot with Myanmar below the radar on how did India write its constitution, the federal experience, what is the meaning of mineral rights. I had organized a series of about at least 20 lectures over a period of 6 months, very quietly, where we went to policymakers in Myanmar, in Naypyidaw, to explain and go through rigorously. I myself visited that country 6 or 7 times, I can't remember. I have good friends in MISIS, the Strategic Institute, the Myanmar Institute. There is a lot that India can share from them in this field of democracy, absolutely. That is something, and federalism particularly. A country like Myanmar is struggling with federalism. I think that is something that we really can share it. At the same time, there's so much we can learn from these countries. Water management is one of them. MSMEs. What was the strength of the Thai economy? Why did the Thai economy become a major exporter through the MSMEs? Look at what is happening in Vietnam today. If you travel in the central part, if you travel just from, say, Da Nang to Hue, if you see the number of factories, small factories, medium factories which have come up, look at the trucks going with containers on that route. Amazing, amazing. This is we have to learn from each other so much more. What are the policies that are working there? What can we learn from them? Is it in terms of industrial banking? So, agriculture, again, something we have to share and we have to learn from each other because we still have large number of peoples. So all I'm saying is that we have so much to learn from each other, not just in the larger macro level, but sector-wise, specifically specific sectors, take up one sector at a time and develop, learn. Of course, we have a common heritage. I started with that, I'll end with that. We definitely need better air linkages, even though I have flown from Calcutta to Yangon, and Air India does a weekly flight also from Delhi. But that's not good enough. It's simply not good enough. I mean, I don't know why, because the planes are full. If you travel to Thai Airways flight to Bangkok from Delhi, half the plane from there goes to Myanmar, the other half goes to Cambodia, Buddhist tourists. So Buddhist pilgrims are, they're not tourists, can't call them tourists, they're pilgrims. So there are large numbers of people traveling from these countries to India, but for some reason, I don't know, we are not able to generate. Thank God that Vietnam, now you can fly directly. Earlier, that was a problem also. We definitely need much better linkages and much better tourism marketing at all levels. There are lots of people do come, Podga can be improved. But yes, I'll only end by saying, Anirban, that you have done a very good job, but, and I'm putting a big but here, we have to move beyond the generalities to the specifics. Yes. We must pick up different sectors at a time and see what is it that, get the government involved, middle of the government involved, MEA, but different ministries, Ministry of Industry, the Ministry of Commerce, right? HRD, culture. especially I think HRD,
Yes.
UGC, AICT have to get involved in this kind of exchange program. Not just 1 week courses, that's good by itself, but a longer engagement so that better understanding, better knowledge. What is the Indian system? What is the Vietnamese system? How does Cambodia conduct itself? Lao PDR is unknown to most of us. Very few people know even anything about Lao PDR other than the fact that they're building 2 big dams, NH2 and whatever. So we really need in this sense, so I'm glad you have done this. I wish you all the best. And I said, since I've been listening from 2 o'clock, for me, it has been a fascinating. In fact, my phone died down in between also because the battery was not enough. But I quickly switched phones because I really wanted to listen to every minute of it. So once again, thank you very, very much for this invitation. I was given 10 minutes and it's exactly 9.5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.